everybody, welcome into the Mile High Hockey Podcast. I'm Mike Evans going solo here with Will Peterson under the weather right now. He's out with an upper body injury. It's all I can say. We're getting ready for the playoffs. I'm not giving out any details. Upper body injury, day to day, Will Peterson. So we wish him good health. Hope he feels better and be able to get him back by the end of the week. Lots to talk about real quickly here on the Mile High Hockey Podcast. And let's start with Gabe Landeskog. First of all, the return on Friday night. It was, hey, look, I'm not going to lie to you, all right? I'm going to be completely honest. I'm a bit sappy when it comes to sports and great sports stories, great sports moments. Some of my awesomeness leaked out on Friday, watching Gabe Landeskog make his return. It's and it was really helped out by this documentary, A Clean Sheet, and how exposed he revealed himself to be throughout this entire process. I mean, my goodness, how could you not be caught up in the emotion of his journey and to see everything that he's put into this and have it kind of come full circle with him being able to return to the ice the way he did. I mean, just being back there on the ice. We'll get to the way he played in a second. But just being back out there was just, it was incredible. It was an incredible moment. It was an incredible example of a guy who just did not want to quit and had any and every opportunity to just say, yeah, this isn't working. But the dedication, the commitment, the relentless work ethic, being able to process the highs and lows, the setbacks, and to see it all come to fruition on that Friday night for the Colorado Eagles was incredible. And it was an emotional moment. And it was also cool to see, guys, teammates, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Josh Manson, guys that not only have that friendship with Gabe Landeskog, but also just the respect for this guy and who he is as a person, as a leader, and what he's put himself through to come back. And the fact that they were there for that, I thought was great. The scene afterwards where he got the water bottle shower, from all his AHL teammates was cool. And then there's the matter of him just going out and playing the way he did. And for me, I mean, how many more boxes do you think he needs to check to prove that he's going to be able to come back? Look, I always said throughout this whole journey that it was, for me, it was like, I'll believe it when I see it, okay? And that there had been so many reports and, hey, he's out there on the ice, and then he would disappear. And now we know the journey well enough to know that there was improvement, then there were setbacks. It had gotten to the point where it was almost kind of that emotional roller coaster where it was like, hey, look, I want off the ride. I don't want to keep riding the ride. I'm getting nauseous. I'm getting sick. It's up, it's down, it looks good, it looks bad. And it was always, for me, it was like, okay, when I see it, I'll believe it. Well, I saw it. He went out, he played back-to-back games, which to me is the most clear example that physically he's where he needs to be. It was always the idea was that, okay, he goes out, he skates, he plays. How does the knee respond? Does it flare up again? Is there a setback? You play back-to-back games, that would seem to indicate that you came through it unscathed. And now with the news that the Avalanche have terminated his conditioning stint with the Eagles and that he's back with the Avalanche, it would seem to indicate that he's trending towards a return. And so now it comes down to the next part of it. Okay, we get past the emotion of him being able to get back out there and play. He did that. Now, what'd you see? In the highlights that you saw, if you saw him play in person, how do you look? I've heard from some people who said, well, he looked a little slow, looked a little hesitant. Okay. But it also looked like he looked better from the second game compared to the first game, that it looked like there was improvement from the first game to the second game. Not only that he scored and had an assist, but that he just looked like he was moving better. You got to figure that the more he plays, the better he's going to look. And then, then there's the matter of it's Gabe Landeskog, okay? I mean, the guy is a world-class player. He's one of the best players in the NHL. If he's able to go out and play, wouldn't it kind of also go along with it that he probably possesses enough talent and know-how to be able to go out and play at a pretty high level? Because, I've been asked a lot over the last couple of days, what'd you think of Gabe? Here's what I know, okay? Here's what I absolutely know as a hockey fan, as a hockey observer. He went out in those 2 games and showed that he is capable of being a professional hockey player. He did that. Now the next question is, did he do enough to convince Jared Bednar and the Avalanche that he is capable of going out round 1, game 1 against the Dallas Stars in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs? Okay, that's I'm a hockey fan. A lot of you are hockey fans. I'm going to have to defer to the real hockey experts, those that played the game at a very high level, or those of you who have coached at a very high level. You're able to look for things, and there are certain things you need to see that we casual hockey fans maybe don't see, maybe miss, maybe don't know what to look for. I'm going to assume that he did enough to be able to go out and play for the Avs, whatever that role may be. Third-line winger, fourth-line winger, whatever it may be. I guess the only question that's really left is, and it's going to be answered, is Jared Bednar and his staff. They looked at everything that we saw. What do they see? Do they see a guy that, okay, yeah, he's capable of playing AHL hockey, but that doesn't mean he's capable of playing for us in round 1 of the playoffs? That's the judgment that needs to be made. I think I heard some discussion about can Jared Bednar put aside the sentimentality that may go along with this decision? Absolutely. I don't worry about that. If Jared Bednar looks at Gabe Landeskog's performance and just doesn't believe that he's capable of going out and being better than Parker Kelly on the 4th line or whatever the Avs have on their 3rd line, I don't for a second think that Jared Bednar is going to get caught up in the emotion and put aside whatever misgivings he has about Gabe being able to go out and play and put him out there just because, well, it's a good story. I think Jared Bednar, all Jared Bednar has to do is look across the hallway and see what happened to Michael Malone last week and realize, hey, I still got to win. I got to win, and I probably need to go past the second round of the playoffs. Otherwise, who knows? I mean, if it can happen to Michael Malone, it could happen to me. What I'm saying about all that is that Jared Bednar, I think, is able to put aside the emotion and do what's best for what he believes is best for the hockey team. Now, I still believe ultimately that will include putting Gabe Landeskog out there. That does give you the best chance to win. But I'm just kind of tackling the idea of would he, if he decided that Gabe couldn't do it, would he be able to make that decision? I think absolutely he would. So we will wait. We will see. I'm 90% confident that we see Gabe Landeskog in the Avalanche lineup for game 1. Now, there's the matter of the matchup. It's going to be the Dallas Stars, and neither team is exactly kicking the door down, looking like they're a juggernaut going into the playoffs. The Avalanche looked, coming down the stretch. Some of that was their play. Some of that was leaving guys out of the lineup, which I had no problem with. Dallas, the same thing. They haven't closed out their season yet as we're talking, but they've dropped a handful of games in a row. So they're not exactly looking like they're primed. So, how much stock, if you're an Avalanche fan or if you're a Stars fan, do you put in their play coming down the stretch? Me personally, not a whole heck of a lot. All you have to do is go back to when the Avalanche won the Cup a few years ago, and they did not exactly finish the season on fire, and it didn't matter at all. So I really don't think it's going to matter with these two teams how they are playing going into the playoffs. The key question for Dallas that we're going to really be exploring is some of their injury. Their outstanding defenseman, Miro Heiskanen, is unlikely, has been basically ruled out for game 1 of this series, but the hope is that he'll be able to return at some point during the series. I don't know. I mean, if you're already being ruled out several days before game 1, how much confidence does that inspire that you're going to be all of a sudden miraculously fit and rip-roaring ready to go by, game 3 or 4? That something tells me that his absence could be felt longer in this series. Or if he does end up coming back, it's a situation where the Avalanche have grabbed control of the series and it's panic time, desperation mode for Dallas. That kind of feels like the way we're trending here when it comes to Heiskanen. As far as Tyler Seguin, it looks like he's set to return pretty soon. So, hey, both these teams, we've talked about it for weeks here on this podcast, okay? You're talking about two of the top favorite teams when it comes to emerging from the Western Conference to go into the Stanley Cup Finals. I've said it. I haven't seen enough from the other teams. I guess I would still give a nod to Vegas, perhaps, but I still believe, as we sit here right now, whoever wins that Avalanche-Dallas series is going to be the team that ends up going to the Stanley Cup Finals, representing the Western Conference. I think that is what makes this series both fascinating and also infuriating at the same time, that you have two teams that are among the top 4 or 5 favorite teams to win the Cup. The whole thing are playing in the first round. Seems like a giant waste of time to me, but them's the rules. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen, and it all comes down to the Avs' ability to go out and get it done. We shall see. I think we're all just kind of anxious. Let's go. The regular season's over. I know there's been a lot of talk also about, hey, the Avalanche finished up their season. They were resting some key guys for the final 2 games. Their key guys are going to be going a solid week without playing. Will that matter at all? Hey, I've heard all the rest versus rust debates, okay? Rest versus rust. And I will always take the extra rest. Always. If there's some possibility of rust, okay. But to me, the benefits of the rest far outweigh the risks or worry about whatever kind of rust there's going to be. So all this time that the Avs key guys are getting off, I think it's great. And I think it'll play a huge role over the course of what figures to be a long series. This one, Avs Stars, to me, feels like a 7-game series. It just does. To me, it's a 7-game series, and away we go. So we look forward to that. We wish Will Peterson good health as he recovers from his upper body injury. And I don't know if it's an upper body injury. It could be a whole body injury. Who knows how he's feeling right now. But we hope you feel better, Will, and we'll see you a little bit later on this week here on the Mile High Hockey Podcast.